It was on the 23rd of June of 2016, yes, more than 3 years ago, that voters in the UK said they wanted to leave the European Union. Yet the process that's known as Brexit has proven difficult. Initially, the UK was set to leave the EU on the 29th of March of 2019. However, that departure date has been delayed on 3 occasions. So why is it taking so long? Let's rewind back to 2016. The results for the EU referendum were in, and they indicated UK voters were profoundly divided over the United Kingdom's membership in the European Union. The outcome of the referendum was close: 51.9% for leave and 48.1% for remain. This split vote opened the door to tough questions that, until then, had not really been considered in detail. Perhaps the biggest question of them all was this: people voted to leave the EU, but what sort of departure did they want? A total breakup from the EU, or a negotiated exit that would retain some of the trade and travel agreements from before? Under the leadership of Theresa May, the UK government decided to work towards a deal with Brussels.
The United Kingdom is leaving the European Union, and my job is to get the right deal for Britain as we do.
The catch was that the EU required that these negotiations be done in 2 phases. First, the UK and the EU would have 2 years to agree on how the exit should be done. And only after that, and with the UK already outside of the EU, they could begin to put together an agreement on their future relationship. This includes any trade deals. Phase 1 of Brexit proved difficult. The UK and the other 27 European countries had to find solutions for a lot of policy areas. How much money does the UK owe the EU according to previous financial commitments? What sorts of benefits would the UK citizens living in the EU and vice versa have post-Brexit? Do tourists need visas to move across the English Channel? How about from Ireland to Northern Ireland? So, these negotiations took some time. In fact, it took more than 1 year to put together a withdrawal agreement, which laid out the conditions by which the UK would leave the EU. But this was not the end of Phase 1. The UK Parliament still had to approve that agreement before it could be implemented.
Order!
UK lawmakers raised a number of issues about the agreement and said no to the deal 3 times. Their biggest area of contention was an insurance policy that would, according to several members of Parliament, divide Northern Ireland from the rest of the UK, the so-called Irish backstop. For 6 months, Theresa May tried to reassure lawmakers that her deal was the best possible way to leave the EU, saying an abrupt exit would be difficult for citizens and businesses. That did not work. So Theresa May tried to get new commitments from the EU, but that was not enough for UK lawmakers either. Eventually, Theresa May's premiership would come to an end. She did not have enough support for her vision on how to deliver Brexit.
To serve the country I love.
And so, in July of 2019, the Conservative Party elected a new Prime Minister, Boris Johnson.
We're going to get Brexit done on October the 31st.
Boris Johnson reopened talks with the other 27 European countries and claimed that he replaced the controversial Irish backstop. So, he went back to the UK Parliament in late October to get the necessary approval from UK lawmakers. They said yes to Boris Johnson's plan.
The ayes have it.
However, there was a big caveat. The lawmakers demanded more time to approve necessary laws, meaning that another extension to Brexit, at this point the 3rd one, was required. Boris Johnson, who was against another delay to Brexit,
I'd rather be dead in a ditch.
told lawmakers, okay, you can have more time, but in return we should have a new general election.
We've got to the stage where we have no choice.
Despite how long it's taking to negotiate this first deal, some argue that trade talks will take even longer. Britain's former ambassador to the EU, Sir Ivan Rogers, said that it could take up to 10 years to put together. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to check out more of our Brexit videos, you know what to do. And if you have any more suggestions, let us know in the comment section. I will see you soon.